Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 12th of the 12th, 2018. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few charts. But as always, before we start looking at that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now the first chart I want to touch on, and that's Nikkei 225. So we're seeing that we had a nice push here today, had a nice push here higher, managed to break back above this key area of support, which acted in the past as support. Now was seen as a resistance, the 21,280 level. So now we can see that it continues to push higher. Now we're aiming for the 21 EMA here, shown as the yellow line, and I do apologize if it's not very clear here, but it's around here, around this level, around the 21,815. So it seems that it could potentially lead towards that. Now, just slightly above that, we do have a good interesting area of resistance here, the 21,920. So you can see that how it played out back here, up and back, going back here towards the 24th of October. So it kind of acted as support. Both resistance certainly got broken on this path, but nevertheless acts as some sort of like a pit stop here for the index. So yep, we could see something like that happening again. Maybe do the price stalling around that area, and then maybe pushing further up here if the bulls remain in control. Certainly, if, like I said, this 21 EMA doesn't hold, and then eventually the 21,920 level doesn't hold, yep, further acceleration could be possible here to the upside, and we could see maybe the 22,240 level getting tested, which is also not far from this 200 EMA, which is seen as a black line. So overall, what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that the markets are ranging right now, so probably could end up ranging like this till the end of the year. So, but keep your eyes on it. Certainly you can see that it's kind of currently stuck, this index is currently stuck in this little range here, or in a way, if you're going to be more specific, we could maybe try to draw here something like a very flattish rising channel here. Let me just kind of put the upper side here quickly. So something like this could be possible, of course. So we could see maybe like I said, the index ranging here between these two lines. So for now, be very cautious. Certainly this is a range trader's paradise right now, but if this suddenly, let's say, drops below this lower side of this range, and then or should I say the slightly flattish rising channel here, if it drops below this lower bound, and then drops, of course, below the 20,970 level, which was marked by the lows of the 26th of October. Now this could turn out to be ugly for the index, and we could see a further slide here, maybe even actually going towards the 20,345 level, which was marked here by the lows of the 26th of March. But again, for us to consider such a scenario, for us to consider such a move lower, we would need to see initially a nice good drop here below the 20,970 level, approximately there. For now, from the very short-term perspective, if we have a look at this, so certainly you could keep an eye on this little area here around this high, around the 21,690. A nice good push above this could, like I said, open the path towards the 22,240, or even a little bit higher towards the upper bound of the this, in a way, flattish rising channel formation. So yep, continue monitoring this, guys. Certainly for now, from the very short term perspective, it seems to be more bullish than bearish. We do have, like I said, this potential area which around the 21 EMA, or just slightly above that, the 21,920. So keep your eyes on that one. Looking at gold now, gold is a very tricky one, to be honest, and certainly, as you can see here, overall, or should I say, from the medium term perspective here, continues to trade above this upside support line taken from the lows of the 16th of August. Now, from the short-term perspective, let me just jump into a 4-hour chart on this one, and as you can see, this is what's happening right now. So gold basically is well, trying to move lower a little bit. As you can see, it broke this little short-term, in a way maybe tentative, upside support line here taken from the lows of the 28th of November, and seems to be well, trying to push lower. Now, of course, this is the area that we're keeping an eye on. We're keeping a close eye on the 1241.50, or let's take it as 1241. We're going to keep a close eye on that one, because if this gets broken, you can see that how strongly this level held here. Certainly some of you might have the 1240 level just on itself, just for better confirmation. So nevertheless, around that area, keep your eyes on this area here, this potential support zone, which recently in the beginning of December actually acted as a nice area of resistance. So now it could be a support, and if this support gets broken, this could turn out to be not a very pleasant situation for the bulls. From the short-term perspective, we could see this one, this commodity traveling further down here, maybe even actually hitting the 1233 zone again, or a little bit lower, the 1230 mark, which also acted as a good area of support and good area of resistance in the past. So keep your eyes on that one. It's a very interesting one right now. It is at a very interesting spot. Looking at it from the daily perspective right now, it's kind of trading below the pivot, so a bit of negativity here. So yep, but again, for a better confirmation of further declines, we would need to see this break here below the 1241 or the 1240 for those who are maybe a little bit more cautious. On the upside, if this, let's say, now travels back up here above this short-term upside support line, this could be our indication that the bears are still well, the bears are not the stronger ones here, and especially if we get a nice pop here above the 1250 level, now this is where it could become more interesting for the bulls, and we could see this one, this precious metal traveling further up here, maybe even going all the way here towards the 1266 level that we've got marked here for quite a while now, and the 1266 acted as a very nice area of resistance here, marked by the peak of the July. So here, the highest point of July, basically the 1266 was, and that would be our target if we get a break above the 1250 level. So let me just kind of quickly put an arrow here for our future reference, and yep, this is what our scenario could look like. But for now, be very cautious. Keep watching the 1240, the 1240, 41, 40 area. Let's see how that plays out today. Jumping into DXY now. Before I look at the 4-hour, let's have a look at the daily and see what's happening here. So basically, it continues to continues to push higher, even though we had this this short-term upside support line drawn here previously, but you can see it kind of got broken, it kind of got violated here. The only thing is that the index never dropped below the 96.40 level, approximately there. So this is of course going to be our gauge here for the downside. In a way, what we could do now is ignore this upside support line, because if this level here, the 97.55 area approximately there, is if that's going to hold, or even actually, let's put it this way, even if the 97.70 level is going to hold, we could see maybe a slide back down. So in a way, this could confirm a possible range here on the on this index, and we could see something like this. We could see a bit of range activity here, range trading again. So yep, guys, be very cautious with this one. It is a very interesting one, but again, like I said, keep your eyes on this potential scenario. We could see maybe a bit of a more upside here, especially if we get a push above the 97.55. Now the next potential area of resistance is the 97.70. I do understand it's only about 15 points away from this breakout. Nevertheless, keep your eyes on it. So for those who are looking at this one maybe long term, from the longer term perspective, I mean, in order to kind of consider higher levels in the long term, or even actually in the near term, we would need to see a nice good pop above the 97.70 level, and only then we'll aim for much higher levels. For now, I would probably, like I said, recommend to stay cautious here a little bit, especially given that we're close to these strong areas of resistance. Even if, let's say, the 97.55 level is going to hold, I mean, we could see maybe a bit of a slide here back down, and of course this could confirm this this potential range trading activity here. Let me just kind of get rid of this quickly, guys. Just wanted to drag another line here to show. So in a way, there are two possibilities of seeing maybe either this could be the upper bound or this one. At the moment, of course, we're going to stick to this because it hasn't been broken, and yesterday the index tried to push towards above it, but kind of got held around it, and since then it kind of declined a little bit. And yep, today it's going to be very interesting to see if it actually manages to push above it or not. If it's going to continue to hold, then yep, we could see maybe a bit of a slide here back down towards the 97 level maybe, or even actually going back down towards this 96.40 level, this key 96.40 level. Jumping into few pairs now. So the euro dollar now, very interesting activity here seen. We're looking at this daily chart here, guys. We can see that yesterday had a nice push higher, managed to reach the 114 level, and then quickly sold off and dropped towards the 113 area. Now, let me just get rid of this downside resistance line. It's kind of, in a way, becomes a bit irrelevant. This is where we're going to focus on right now, is this short-term upside support line. As you can see, it kind of continues to hold nicely, and yesterday the pair managed to drop towards that upside support line, and this is where we're seeing now a nice bounce back to the upside. Of course, the big question here is this actually going to continue to hold, or are we going to slide a little bit lower here? Now, certainly the momentum is the negativity is still there, and what I would probably suggest is kind of to keep monitoring this one. And if we look at the 4-hour chart here, guys, you see now it's kind of declining a little bit, and it kind of continues to remain below this pivot point here. So also a bit of a bearish indication. So in a way, for us, let's say, to get more comfortable with higher levels, at least from the short-term perspective, we would need to see a nice good push here above this 113.50 level, approximately there, which was marked here by the lows, or should I say the lows of the 10th of December. So basically Monday's lows, and only then we'll potentially aim for the we could potentially aim for slightly higher levels, maybe back towards the 114 level and even higher. But for now, like I said, keep your eyes on this little short-term upside support line. If that doesn't hold, well, for us to kind of let's say consider a further slide lower here, we need to see a nice good drop here below the 113 level, and then we'll aim for today, especially if we see such a move today, then we'll aim for the S1, which is around the 112.80. Slightly below that, we do have the 112.70 level, which is also marked here by these lows, the end of November lows, and also the mid-November lows here. So in a way, there are some good potential areas here of potential support, or even actually if this continues to sell off strongly, then well, keep your eyes on the lows that we saw here around the 12th of November, and that was approximately around the 1.1215 level. So also a good potential area of support. But again, for us to consider these lows here, we need to see a good drop here below the 113 level first. And I'll repeat myself, on the upside, keep your eyes, and from the very short-term perspective, keep your eyes on the 113.50 level. We could see maybe a bit of a push here back up towards the 114 level. And the last pair I wanted to quickly touch on, and that's NZDJPY. Now, looking at the daily chart here, I can see that it's struggling a little bit to push higher here, and certainly overall, of course, looking at this picture from the year's perspective, I can see that it managed to break here to the upside on the 1st of November and kind of continue to push higher, just to change the course of this direction. But the only thing is, right now, like I said, it seems that it's struggling to push higher towards these recent highs near the 78.88 level, or in a way you could round it up towards the 78.90. so it's struggling to move towards that area. Now we're seeing a bit of a pushback here. You can see that the bears are really trying to fight it right now and trying to push it back down. So in a way, you could keep monitoring this, and some probably could say that we are seeing something like a bit of a weird shaped here head and shoulders here. But the only thing is that's a bit wrong to say here, because we don't have a clear kind of neckline here. So yeah, guys, I mean, probably skip that idea if you did have that idea, so you probably could forget it for now. So what you could do is focus on some key areas of support and resistance. So if we jump into a 4-hour chart here, now this is what you, from the very short-term perspective, so in a way you could look at the potential move here if this drops below the 77.60 area, approximately there. Now this could open the path towards slightly lower levels here, so let me just adjust a few here. Now this is where you could target the this area here around the 76.95, or even if that doesn't hold, I mean, further declines could be possible towards the towards this little short-term, in a way tentative upside flattish support line here. This could get tested, but yep, for now all eyes are on this. As you can see today, right now, the pair is kind of holding around the pivot here, which is around the 77.95 area, or 90, something like that. If this continues to drop further down, keep your eyes on the 77.60. Break below that could open the path towards much lower levels here, but on the upside, if this reverses back up and moves back above the R1, watch out for the 78.30 level, 78.30. This could open the path towards the recent highs here that we had around the 4th of December, and that was approximately around the 78.90 level that I was talking about previously. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening, and I really hope you found it useful. And if you want to join me later on in my Traders Tea Time, and that's 14:15 GMT time, so yep, feel free to join in, and I'll be happy to see you there. Thank you very much, and have a nice trading day. Bye bye.